them kill themselves, and that they were made for enjoyment. And then turned upon his heel, and with as careless an air as a man would part with his paroquet when he had shut her up close in her gilded cage. What a shocking state was I in for the first queen of the universe! Nay, I'll say more, for a heart that was wholly devoted to her Zadig. At these endearing words, Zadig threw himself at her feet, and bathed them with his tears. Astarte immediately raised him in the most courteous and engaging manner, and thus continued her narration. I too plainly perceived that I was subject to the tyranny of a barbarian, and the rival of a coquette that was a slave like myself. She related to me all her past adventures in Egypt. From the description she gave of her gallant, the time and place, the dromedary he was mounted on, and from every other minute circumstance, I imagined it was yourself that played the hero in her favour. As I made no doubt but that you resided somewhere in Memphis, I determined to go thither myself, but in disguise. Beauteous Miss Sooth, said I, you are of a much sprightlier disposition than I am. You will be able to amuse the gay young prince of Hyrcania 1,000 times better than I shall. Find out some way, therefore, for my escape, by which you will be sole Lady Regent. You will oblige me to the last degree by your friendly assistance, and at the same time get rid of a rival. Missouf, cajoled with the hint, came into my measures directly. She took care to send me packing forthwith, with no other attendant than an old Egyptian slave. No sooner had I reached the borders of Arabia, but a notorious freebooter, one Arbogad by name, picked me up as I was strolling along, and sold me to some merchants, who conveyed me to yonder castle, the magnificent residence of the Emir Ogul. He purchased me at all adventures, without enquiring what or who I was. He is a perfect debauchee. His sole delight lies in good eating, wine, and women, and is one who imagines that the Almighty sent him into the world for no other purpose but to gratify his unruly appetites. He is excessively fat, and puffs and blows every moment, like one half choked. When he has gorged himself so unmercifully that he is ready to burst, his chief physician can persuade him to take anything for his relief, though he laughs at him and despises his advice when he is well and sober. He has intimated to him that at present his life's in danger, and nothing will restore him but a basilisk boiled in rose water. Whereupon the grand Ogul has promised his last favours to that slave, whoever she be, that shall be so fortunate as to catch a basilisk for him, since it seems they are so seldom to be met with. You see, I have others to struggle for the honour proposed, and I never had a less inclination to find out this basilisk than at present, since I have once more met with my dearest Zadig. After this declaration, Astarte and Zadig renewed with warmth the virtuous affection which they had long conceived for each other, and reciprocally uttered all the tenderest expressions that love in distress could possibly devise, and the genii who preside over all the soft passions wafted their mutual vows of eternal constancy and truth to the sphere of Venus. The whole train of slaves, after a long fruitless search, attended on Ogul to inform him that all their strictest search was fruitless. Zadig desired that he might have the honour to be introduced to his presence. Accordingly he was, and his address was to this or the like effect: May mortal health descend from heaven to preserve a life, sir, so precious as yours is. I am a physician by profession. I flew to your palace on the first news of the dangerous situation you were in, and have brought a basilisk with me, distilled in rose water. I can have no hopes of the honour of your bed in case I succeed in my application. All the favour I request is the release of one of your Babylonish slaves, who has been in your highness's retinue for some time, and I am willing to be your bond slave in her stead, if I fail of restoring the most illustrious and magnificent Ogle to his pristine state of health. The proposition was readily embraced. Astarte was instantly discharged, and set out for Babylon with a proper attendant, according to Zadig's direction, assuring her that she should hear every day by a special courier of his proceedings with his new patient. The farewell which they took of each other was very affectionate and tender, expressive of the strongest obligations to each other. The moments of meeting and those of parting are, as it is written in the sacred book of Zend, the two most remarkable epochas of a lover's life. Zadig's repeated protestations of affection for the queen were perfectly sincere, and the pure dictates of his heart, and the queen's love for Zadig had made a deeper impression on hers than she thought proper to discover. In the meantime, Zadig, again addressing himself to Ogle, said, My basilisk, sir, as others are, is not to be dressed or eaten, but all its virtues must penetrate your whole fabric through your pores. I have enclosed my never-failing sudorific in a bladder, full blown and carefully covered with the softest leather. You must kick this bladder, sir, once a day about your hall for a whole hour together, with all the vigour and activity you possibly can. This medicine must be repeated every morning, and I'll attend the operation. Upon your due observance of the regimen I shall put you under, I doubt not but with the blessing of heaven on my honest endeavours, I shall give you ample demonstration of my being an adept in physic. Ogle, upon making the first experiment, was ready to expire for want of breath, and thought he should die with the fatigue. The second day did not prove altogether so irksome, and he slept much better at night than he had done before. In short, our doctor in about 8 days' time performed an absolute cure. His patient was as brisk, active, and gay as one in the bloom of his youth. Now, sir, said Zadig, I'll be ingenuous with you, and disclose to you the important secret. You have played at football these 8 days successively, and you have lived all that time within the bounds of sobriety and moderation. Know, sir, that there is no such animal in nature as a basilisk, that health is to be secured by temperance and exercise, and that the art of making health consistent with luxury is altogether as impracticable and an art in all respects as idle and chimerical as those of the philosopher's stone, judicial astrology, or any other reveries of the like airy and fantastic nature. Ogle's head physician, apprehensive that this unexpected